I quickie married a wealthy divorced CEO. He gives me $1 million a month to live on. Provided I accept his 5-year-old daughter. Me. How can that be good? Later. My family relatives kept whispering in my ear. You have no self-respect. Marrying a man with a wife and kids? Our daughter married well. She has 2 houses at home. And her boyfriend graduated from a 985 university. I'll introduce you to the deli owner in front of the neighborhood who is still single. Me. Get out of the way. Don't spoil my good deed. Roses weave dreams of romance. Chase to see roses romantic meaning endless. All the way to the romantic unending. Be sure to like. Comment. Forwarding. Attention. Open the small bell. Beautiful drama on time embrace. I just left the school. Suddenly received a phone call from a parent. My child's pants are dirty. Did you not wash them? Why is there a mosquito bag on his leg? Do you let your child get bitten like that? I think your kindergarten should refund the tuition fee. I rubbed my temples. Thinking. Am I a kindergarten teacher or a nanny? I took a breath and softly said. Okay. I'll pay attention next time. I hung up the phone and suddenly saw the driver of a black Rolls-Royce across the street waving at me. Rolls-Royce? It should have nothing to do with me. I calmly continued to walk forward. The driver got anxious and shouted at me. Mr. Lou. Stay back. It couldn't be the parent who just came to pick a fight. Could it? I immediately walked faster. The driver stopped the car in front of me in 3 tries. The window fell, revealing a well-defined face. The man was wearing a well-tailored suit, with a mature demeanor, and appeared to be an elite in the workplace. He should have observed me for a long time and revealed a faint smile. Ms. Willow. I'm Emma's father. Ethan. I was instantly shocked in my heart. Emma was the very quiet little girl in the class. And Ethan. If he hadn't shown up today. I almost thought that this little girl had lost her father and mother at a young age. And that no matter if it was a parent-teacher conference or a school event. It was all the family nanny who came to attend. I pursed my lips and smiled. I'm sorry. My memory isn't very good. I don't think I've seen you at school before. Huh? Ethan always maintains a decent smile. There is nothing wrong with your memory. It's true that I haven't come to school. Me. This guy is so thick-skinned. He can say that he doesn't care about his kids with such a straight face. I looked at my cell phone. It's after work now. Maybe we can do it tomorrow. The driver suddenly interrupted me. Ms. Lou. Mr. G would like to invite you to dinner. I looked at him good-naturedly. You can communicate with WeChat if there is anything. This. But the Ritz-Carlton has made a reservation in advance. Can you? Ethan interrupted him in a deep voice. Can Mr. Lou make an exception for an extra shift? The word impossible was already on his lips. He added. $10,000 an hour. I swallowed those 3 words. What do you mean? Ethan was the man in the back seat of the Rolls-Royce, pinpointing the weaknesses of our laborers. His deep eyes fell on me. Don't worry, Mr. Lou. It's just to ask some everyday questions about Emmy. The implication was that it would never be because of trying to plot against you. I was originally a bit hesitant. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely not that the money is too little. It's just, who am I to think that I have the opportunity to make $10,000 a week? Coincidentally, I received a phone call from my mother, saying that my relatives at home had arranged another blind date for me. If I remember correctly, this is already my 27th blind date this month. My head suddenly hurt even more. I immediately sent her a message back. Parents are looking for me. I'm not attending. But I didn't realize that Ethan was really interested in me. All the way there. He acted courteous and asked how Emmy was doing at school and if she was being bullied. And I kept my eyes on the clock. After successfully closing the distance between us, he took out a paper document and handed it to me. I was eating at the time. And when I saw the words prenuptial agreement, I choked and turned red in the face. I suspected that the meal was an ambush. What does it mean? He pushed down his gold-rimmed glasses. I heard that, miss. Lou is looking for a blind date recently. Why don't you consider me? No. Are they also quick in the workplace? Getting married without even going through the process? I casually flipped through the agreement and calmed down a bit. I'm sorry. I don't have any feelings for you. He smiled slightly. You like Emmy too, don't you? Does every girl who likes Emmy have to be her mother? She needs a mother. And you. You should need a husband in name only. His eyes were penetrating. As if they could see into people's hearts. My parents have fought since I was a child. And the house is always cold. So I made up my mind never to get married. Even if I did, I would never have children. But who would have thought that I would be sent a cheap husband and daughter at this time? I came back to my senses. That's none of your business either. He continued. There is a nanny at home. Nothing you have to do. My parents are abroad. Relatives and whatnot. You do not have to cope with. I have a lot of real estate under my name. I can transfer half of it to you. Where you want to live, you can leave it to your assistant to make arrangements. I'll pay $1 million a month for living expenses. Of course, if you think it's less, you can add more. If you want, I can subsidize a building for your school. Or, I'll buy the school. My head was spinning and I suddenly scooped my mouth. Stop it. Honey. Ethan paused. For a moment, the entire private room fell silent. When Emma came to school again, my mood suddenly became a bit delicate. Overnight, this little girl became my cheap daughter. She was watery. A small face white and tender. Especially those beautiful eyes. Which made people so cute that they couldn't walk away after just one look. Unfortunately, she was not talkative and always kept her head down in a crowd. The day went by rather peacefully until all the children took their midday naps. She excused herself to go to the restroom and quietly pulled me to the side. Her voice was soft and her face was a little hesitant. Teacher Lou. Ouch. How could Ethan have such a lovely daughter? I hurriedly asked her. What's wrong? She pursed her lips. My father said that I should change my name to your mom? I was inexplicably a little shy. If he says so, then yes. Emma looked me over twice. Were you threatened? This. How can you call it a threat when it's about money? I was surprised that Emma, who was only 5, knew the word threat. What the hell did Ethan teach her? I shook my head. Of course not. I like him. She asked again. What do you like about him? I continued to make it up. Handsome. Good character. Kind. Teacher. She frowned down her thin weak eyebrows. You said all these? Dad has none of them. I urged her to sleep. She tossed and turned several times before finally taking my hand in a daze. Teacher. Mommy. You mustn't leave my daddy behind. I stroked her head. Inexplicably feeling some pity. Don't worry. He's not just your dad. He's my dad too. Who would throw away a golden daddy? Ethan and I were going to get our marriage license. It was a sunny day. And he showed up downstairs at my house holding Emma. I quietly took the account book and went out the door. Of the 3, only Emma was the happiest. She blinked and asked. Mommy, aren't you happy? I immediately raised my smile. Happy? Of course I'm happy. The only reason Ethan wanted to marry me was to give Emma a complete and happy home. Of course I have to play the role of a loving parent in front of her. Emma smiles with crooked eyes. Then you hold Daddy's hand. I look over at Ethan. He was dressed in a white shirt. His face was exquisitely handsome. But he had an air of being unapproachable. I swallowed my throat. I'll hold you just. Before the words fell, a touch of warmth came from my palm. His hand is broad and strong. I subconsciously recovered. Was tightly held by him. He took care of my hair. His voice was magnetic and gentle. In front of your daughter. Are you shy? I smiled but didn't laugh. No. I'm so used to being held by you that I can't let go of my hand. We were honeymooning on the surface. But when Emma turned her head, she immediately let go of her hand. I took a breath. But inadvertently found that Ethan's ears seemed to be red. This child has been born. What is the old man still pretending to be innocent? After arriving at the Civil Affairs Bureau, we followed the normal process of registering for a photo. The camera was pointed straight at me, and I was standing next to a man I had only seen twice. The staff reminded, "Don't be too nervous. Don't be too nervous, huh? Girl. Why do you look like you've been kidnapped here? Smile, ha." I immediately pulled on my lips and smiled, revealing a few large white teeth. Ethan stood beside me and leaned close to my ear and whispered, "What are you nervous about? It's not like anyone's going to eat you." I glared at him. "Of course you're not nervous. You've been photographed with people a few times." I muttered, "Not as experienced as you." His eyes narrowed. "Say what?" The lights flashed and the scene was frozen. The crew smiled broadly. "Well, they're very affectionate. And they're a match made in heaven." Emma, who was sitting on the side, just finished her lollipop. "Daddy, give mommy a kiss." Ethan and I both looked a little horrified. This agreement doesn't say this. There are brothers and sisters waiting to take pictures in the back. I flubbed a few words and rushed off. A low chuckle comes from behind Ethan. "Mommy is shy. Don't tease her." Soon, my card was credited with $1 million. Even faster. As Ethan and I had our quickie marriage, a whole host of questions came my way that I hadn't anticipated. For example, Emma asked, "Teacher, are you coming home with me tonight?" In order to remain anonymous, she and I had agreed to always call me teacher at school. We were standing in front of the kindergarten when she asked this. My cousin and my cousin's husband happened to drive by the entrance in their car. My cousin has always loved to compare herself with me since she was a little girl. From the smallest thing, such as a dress, a bracelet or a cell phone, to the largest thing, such as how much money she has saved and who she is married to. She has to secretly compete with me. And at this moment, she stepped on 7 centimeters of high heels, exactly flush with me. She took a look at the school, twisted her waist and walked over. "This job is very fulfilling." "Right. So envious of you. I sit in the office every day, can only drink tea. It is really a bit boring." Cousin's husband carried her bag. "Daughter-in-law, you're so kind. You even packed the cafeteria's meal to give your sister to eat." Cousin smiled. "After all, we grew up together. We have good feelings." Me. "Get out of the way. You're blocking the road." Cousin's husband frowned. "How to talk to your sister? Come all the way here and you have this attitude. No wonder 25 years old and still cannot get married. No wonder you can't get married after 25 years. Are these two people out of their minds and looking for trouble?" I didn't intend to pay any attention to them and was ready to send Emma to the car. But she suddenly broke away and blocked in front of me. "Don't you dare bully my mommy." The voice of the little girl, who had always been soft-spoken, suddenly became shrill. My cousin was shocked. "When did you have a child?" My cousin's husband was also shocked. "It's been a few years, hasn't it?" My coworker was also shocked. "You're not a single dog anymore?" Me. Cousin thought of something. Eyes flashed. Face mocking. "This child looks 5 or 6 years old. According to the age of the child is not your birth." She looked like she was watching a good show. "You're not going to be a stepmother to someone else, are you?" She covered her mouth in exaggeration and raised her cell phone again. "I'm going to tell my sister-in-law and uncle." Me. Emma tugged my sleeve with some sadness. "Mom. Teacher. Did I do something wrong?" She was still young and didn't understand for what reason the strange eyes around her existed. I held her hand soothingly. "You're not wrong. It's their ideas that are nasty." She cocked her head. "What do you mean by nasty?" Before I could answer, my dad called. He was furious and left only 4 words. "Come home now." My cousin snorted from the sidelines. "My husband recently bought a new car. Let's give you a ride." I glanced in the direction she was pointing and didn't recognize the sign at all. I led Emma forward. My cousin blocked in front of me. "How long are you going to be capricious?" "Sometimes. I really wonder if this cousin wants to be my mom. Otherwise, why is it so nosy?" I ignored her. And in her surprised eyes, I led Emma towards the low-profile Porsche that Ethan had newly bought. The driver had been waiting for a long time and had even called Ethan to explain the situation. When the phone was put to my ear, he whispered only 2 words. Wait for me. As the saying goes, good things don't come easy, but bad things do. When I arrived home, my dad had already smoked a pack of cigarettes and there were several relatives standing around ready to see the joke. When he saw the chubby chauffeur who sent me upstairs, his eyes shook. Are you married to him? The driver shook his head in panic. No. Not me. He ran away. My father was so angry that he threw a broom behind him. No bearing. Look at what kind of man you married. Is it possible that I married someone other than him? My parents have been arguing all their lives. But this time they were united in interrogating me. Did you steal the account book? Me. My parents held their breath. How old is he? Me. I'm not really sure. My mom rolled her eyes in anger. Then what do you know? She asked again. Can you give the child away? I was shocked. What if Ethan heard about this? It would be better to send the child away than to fire me. I immediately stood up. Of course not. From now on, she is my own daughter. The kind that no parent can take away from me. My relatives were sitting on my couch watching the joke. Especially my cousin's husband, who couldn't hide his gloating eyes. He ran to get 2 glasses of water. Auntie. Uncle. Don't be angry. Ruoruo is still young and doesn't know what's going on. And it's our fault. We're usually too busy to keep an eye on her. Ruoruo must have been tricked by someone's rhetoric and willingly helped raise the child. I told you this child would go astray. Especially after college. She's become more and more disobedient. So what's the point of having good grades? It's not as good as our daughter who graduated from high school and came to help the family. She does all the laundry and cooking. Do you have no self-respect to marry a man with a wife and kids? My kid got a good marriage. 2 houses at home and a 985 graduate. My father was so angry that his high blood pressure was about to go off. In fact, no one knows that my cousin's husband had been chasing me at first. But it didn't work out. Since he and my cousin got together, he often sends me messages. What's with the purity? You think you can marry someone better than me with your looks? I looked at my cousin's husband. Are you a bunch of frogs? You can't stop croaking. The door to the house was wide open. My dad saw that I dared to talk back and hit me with a broom. I sucked in a sharp breath of cold air. But there was no pain as expected. Ethan stepped in front of me and frowned. Are you okay? The golden father was here. I shook my head and my eyes lit up. I've been in this state for a while now. My eyes light up when I see him. Like a dog seeing a bone. But in the eyes of others, Ethan all of a sudden eyes more heartache. Sorry. I do not know. My dad looked at the stranger in front of him. Who are you? I couldn't wait to introduce him on his behalf. He is my daughter's father. Crowd. My dad didn't believe me. Layla. Can you tell the truth? You two don't even look like acquaintances. My dad has lived most of his life. His eyes are still a bit poisonous. It's true that I don't know my husband very well. We've only known each other for less than half a month. Ethan said in a deep voice. Dad. Mom. I'm sorry. I haven't had the chance to pay you two a visit due to recent commitments. Here's a gift I've prepared for the 2 of you. He beckoned and at once several people came in carrying things. My heart was bleeding. These things will not be deducted from my salary. Right? The stuff couldn't fit and went straight next door. I tugged on his sleeve. Next door is not our house. I know. He said in a hushed voice. Half an hour ago. It was already bought. Dad. I know you like tea. I bought a store downstairs. It will be renovated into a cafe. And I'll leave it to you from now on. God knows. My dad has argued with my mom for how many times over the matter of opening a cafe. My dad choked and pushed my mom. You tell it. My mom just said. You. Mom. I heard that you had a fight with the owner of the supermarket downstairs. Don't worry. The supermarket will be converted into a card room. And you will be the owner. My mom has been fighting with the owner of the supermarket downstairs for a long time. And even said that she would buy her supermarket and make it into a card room. Who would have thought that dream would come true? My mom paused. Son-in-law. This is not appropriate. It's shameful to hit people with money. But it works. I always found this scene too familiar. At that moment, the attitude of the surrounding relatives suddenly changed for the better. Only my cousin, who had been watching the show, turned angry. Divorced with a daughter. I don't know what there is to show off. Auntie, can you be bribed with these things? It's really just opening your mouth. It's not certain if it's true. Hubby, will you go and check it out? Hubby? Cousin's husband gave her a crazy look. Stop it. Stop what? It's not you. Shut up. This is the boss of our company. After the drama, a relative asked, how did you guys meet? My mouth, which was still stuffing apples, suddenly stopped gnawing. If they knew about my job, wouldn't there be a lot of people competing with me? So I made a snap decision. Mom and Dad, I'm going to stay at his house tonight. We're leaving first. I pulled my 1 million. Oh no. Ethan and ran. But I realized that Ethan was a full 1.9 meters tall. So at 6'5", I was extra petite. I ran in front of him. And he strolled along behind me. The picture was more or less funny. Walking to the door of the neighborhood, the security guard uncle suddenly spoke. Yo. Shahrua. Changed boyfriend again? This time this one is the most handsome. I said to the security guard. Can you say that in front of people? I could only open my mouth and snicker with Ethan. Don't get me wrong. My parents found me a few more guys to get in touch with. He nodded in understanding. I won't do that. He nodded his head in understanding. I won't meddle in your personal affairs. After a while, he asked, how many am I? First. I said hastily. I've only ever been married to you. He hummed and leaned back lightly in his seat without another word. When Ethan and I got back to his house, Emma was standing at the door waiting for us. She ran over to us with a happy face. Ethan knelt down to hug her. She ran around him and over to me. Mommy. I was so worried about you. Ethan. He rose without much concern. A hint of incredulity on his brow. The place was a 3-story villa. And the butler had instructed me that I was allowed to go everywhere in the house. Except for the room on the 2nd floor by the corner. I had a big brainstorm. That room couldn't have anything to do with Emmy's mother. Could it? Some love injury to Ethan? But I would never dare to ask. People who know secrets usually don't live long. Speaking of which, Ethan deserved to be a big boss. No matter what he did. He was so organized that even eating at the table was limited to 15 minutes. I was telling Emmy a joke when he coughed twice. I was in the middle of my joke and ignored him. He coughed again. I couldn't help myself. You have a cold? He lowered his eyebrows and looked into my bowl. You have 5 minutes left to eat. After dinner, Emmy was at her piano lesson and I ran out for a couple of walks. While walking, I listened to songs and occasionally checked my card balance. The result of drifting too far was that I got lost. And by now it was getting dark. Surrounded by darkness and silence. With the occasional barking of what sounded like dogs and wolves. I had no choice but to call Ethan. But it was a little difficult to say that. From the other side came his cool and somehow reassuring voice. Still in a meeting. What's wrong? I snorted. I just came out to look around. This gated community is quite big. He paused. He paused. Yeah. I had already sensed his perfunctory. That's. You're not. Like. Lost. Are you? He laughed. A little surprised. Sorry. I wasn't thinking straight. I smiled awkwardly. Where? Later. It was he who came to find me in person. He even brought me a candy. Wasn't this candy usually used to coax Emmy? I was in a hurry to get back. So I didn't think much about it. I was so tired that I was ready to sleep after the nanny cleaned up the room. But the problem came. There was no way I was going to sleep in a separate room from Ethan with Emmy watching. So I was going to go to his room to discuss it. But I didn't realize that he had just gotten out of the shower and was only wearing a towel. Sliding droplets of water dripping down his bare chest. The golden father turned out to be in good shape. Ethan sneered. Close your eyes. Me. Nice looking. Oh no. I don't see anything. My face burned and I just closed the door to meet a pair of big curious eyes. Emma sipping her milk. Mommy. Don't you sleep with Daddy? But the book says couples sleep together. I wiped my sweat. Thinking that this little kid is really hard to fool. Of course. Mommy's just going to go to the bathroom and wait for your daddy to warm up. She turned her head towards Ethan and yelled. Daddy. Can you hurry up and warm up Mommy? She's sleepy. I was so moved that I cried. What a good daughter for Mommy. When I came back from the restroom, I saw Ethan was already lying on the bed in a lifeless state. He was handsome. And after taking off his suit, he lost the coldness he had in the daytime. And shrunk under the covers more like a little daughter-in-law waiting to be pampered. Emma, who was only 5 years old, patted the spot next to Ethan. Mommy. You sleep here. My heart suddenly beats a little faster. Ethan said silently. Let's pretend first. Pretend to look. You can really rest assured that I beast up even I am afraid of myself. I lay down next to him with a strong sense of calm. Since I only wore a nightgown. My bare skin touched his warm arm. And for a moment there was a numbing feeling that hit me straight in the heart. Satisfied. Emmy left the room. I touched Ethan's thigh when I moved. His eyes startled and he looked at me in a slight panic. You. Don't move. I then noticed that he was red from his neck to the base of his ears and averted my eyes unnaturally. I'll have someone change you into a nightgown tomorrow. I looked down. Then realized that the neckline is a little big. And just under the fidgeting. I tiptoed back to my room. Kids' Day. The kindergarten held an interactive parent-child activity. 3 parents and children dribbled a ball 2 by 2. No hands. Only head-to-head with the ball. The one with less time won. On this day, Ethan also came. He changed into casual clothes. Like a vigorous youth. Everyone's parents were there. And when it was Emma's turn, she glanced at me with her little eyes. I had told her before that at school. My status was only that of her teacher. I saw the anticipation in her eyes. So I walked next to her. Today Miss Layla took a leave of absence from kindergarten and will just be your mommy today. She immediately smiled and boasted that she would take me on a rocket ride when she grew up. At the beginning of the game. Because Ethan was too tall. When he and Emma were dribbling the ball, they could only pick her up and carry her over the ball. And when it's my turn to clip, the ball always falls off. He gave a low gasp. Why don't I hold you too? And I make friends with a few teachers in the back of the coaxing. Hug what? Directly kiss a bite. A couple of parents were watching the fun. 1 kiss and you get first place. What do you know? I can't kiss the father of the gold master. This scene was just like when I was a kid and my parents were shouting at me to perform in front of my relatives. I was under pressure and bumped into Ethan's head several times. The last time, suddenly my feet slipped and I crashed into his arms. The knot in his throat twitched and he let out a soft laugh. Gotta get my head insured. I set my teeth. What are you laughing at? Hurry up. He grumbled. Why are you being mean to me? I'm trying so hard. When I had $1 million in my pocket again, I suddenly had the desire to spend it. These days, Ethan is in charge of my food and clothes. So the money I have in my hand has become a string of numbers that I can't spend. So I connected with my bestie. Do you know how to spend the money? BFF was speechless for a moment. Are you out of your mind? She hung up on me. I dialed back. I'm serious. She thought for a moment. Meet me at our bar. So I asked Ethan to take the day off and go back later tonight. He asked in passing. What for? I blurted out. Going to the beauty parlor. I hadn't been to a bar in a long time. And there were a lot of sexy women twirling around in the red lights. I arrived at the appointed place only to find 10 male models with abs waiting for me. I subconsciously thought they had the wrong guy. You guys have the wrong guy. Right? One male model had a seductive voice. Sister. We've been waiting for you for a long time. A male model was very handsome. Sister. Do you want to drink? I shuddered and realized that it was probably my girlfriend's. But the money was spent. So I chatted with them for a while. Maybe it's because they've been in the society for a long time. But they were very good at talking and made me laugh. But I never expected Ethan's driver to be in the bar tonight. Ethan came with a green light on his head. By the time he did, I'd already had a few drinks and was scissoring rock paper scissors with a couple of the guys, knocking them all down. An inexplicably cold voice came from behind me. Drinking comfortably? I shouted. Waiter. Another bottle. That's when I got a good look at his face. With the green light. It was inexplicably a bit weird. I stammered. You mustn't misunderstand. I glanced around. There were 10 men sleeping in 7 different places. Ethan picked up the bottle and looked at it. Going to the groomer? Me. I couldn't say anything. I could only pretend to be drunk. Pretend to be drunk? He looked right through me. If you come here again in the future. Once you come here, you will be deducted $100,000. I was furious. You can move me. Don't move my money. Money. Move you can? He repeated. His voice inexplicably trembling. Because of the close proximity. I can almost see his deep pupils and roots of clear eyelashes. This man is so beautiful. As if compelled, I moved forward and kissed him on the lips. Then flopped into his stiff arms and fell asleep. I seemed to have molested Ethan. Realizing this thing, I jumped out of bed in the middle of the night. I've never been drunk from 1,000 drinks and was sober when I kissed him. I decided to go downstairs and cool off with a glass of cold water. But I didn't realize there was someone sitting in the living room. Who knows what it's like to see a figure in the dark in the middle of the night? I screamed. Ethan's helpless voice came from the front. It's me. I touched my little heart and it beat faster. It's you. And I'm even more scared. What was this man doing sitting here in the middle of the night? Out of bed? Is he thinking about giving me a pay cut? My heart went cold. Give me an explanation. He said in a deep voice in the middle of the night. I pinched my shirt. What explanation? His eyes were sultry. Where are you dissatisfied that you need to find them? He snorted. Like to hear them call you sister? I didn't say anything. He asked again. How do they compare to me? Do they have better voices than me? Or better bodies than me? Or more money than me? This weird atmosphere, Ethan is not possessed. I think I should seal myself in a coffin at this moment. I trembled my voice. In my heart. No one can compare to you. Who can offer me a salary of $1 million a month? Once that was said, Ethan was satisfied. He waved his hand. You go to bed. I hoofed it. Since then, Ethan has become a bit eccentric. Once upon a time, all we talked about was money. But now he's starting to get emotionally involved with me. When he had a cold, he'd come to hang out in front of me. Obviously, his whole body was a bit groggy. But he still pretended to ask me, am I sick? I put down my chips and ran to find a thermometer. You take it. I have no strength in my hands. He came over and took off his shirt. You help me. Me. Why do you think he's a bit shameless? Although this is so in front of me. But in front of outsiders he is still a decent man. High and cold male god's appearance. But because of his overpowering ability to suck money, there are always people jumping on him. We were at the mall to buy clothes for Emma. And a blonde girl directly ignored me and walked up to Ethan. Hey handsome. Can I add a WeChat? Ethan looked at me as if he was expecting me to do something. But I was already chatting with the clerk. You have a 6-year-old son. We have a daughter. She's a good girl. I like to buy her pink clothes. Look at this one. It's new for the season. Ethan pulled me to the side with a dark look on his face. Having a nice chat? I was actually a little upset by the interruption. What's wrong with you? As the words left my mouth, I realized that this was not the tone of voice that I could use to talk to the father of the gold master. I immediately folded my arms and shouted towards the blonde. Find me if you have something. Leave my man alone. I don't know which nerve Ethan struck with that comment. But he was in a pretty good mood all day. Such days lasted until Emma's 6th birthday party. She was the rightful princess of the G family. And was loved by all. But this time, the birthday party was organized in a low key. She explained in a soft voice. I wanted to help Dad save money. The lights were turned off and only the glow of candles remained in the large room. She closed her eyes and made a wish. I hope Mom and Dad will be together forever. Strangely, she didn't include herself in this wish. I didn't think much of it and kissed her face. Cut the cake. Baby. When I first came to JIS house, I did have an impure heart. But after getting along with her for a long time, I felt more and more sorry for this child who was less than 10 years old. In the end, what kind of experience can make her so understanding? Before Emma could cut the cake, the door to the room opened with a bang. A woman wearing sunglasses and a leather jacket walked in. Her red fingernails pressed on the wall. And the living room instantly lit up. She stepped on her high heels. The corners of her mouth raised in an inexplicable smile. Why didn't you invite me to your birthday? Ethan took Emmy's hand and spoke in an unkind tone. Su-Chi, what are you doing here? The leather-clad woman looked at me. It's been a long time. The house looks lively again. I looked towards Emmy and realized that her small face was pale. I saw that Su-Chi came empty-handed. Without a gift. And with a condescending look. I thought that some evil relative had come. Auntie. May I ask who you're looking for? Her face stiffened. Who are you calling Auntie? She turned to Emmy. My good daughter. Don't you even recognize your mother? Emmy hid behind Ethan in fear. I giggled in my heart. It turned out that she was Emma's mother. That would also be Ethan's ex-wife? Realizing this, for some reason, I was suddenly a little uncomfortable. Su-Chi came a little closer. And a strong perfume smell greeted her. Good boy. Tell Mommy. In Daddy's place. Is there anyone bullying you? Emmy sneezed twice and ran upstairs as if she were fleeing. I told Ethan. You guys talk first. He frowned slightly. Where are you going? Outside to get some air. Even though I was nominally Emmy's mother, I was conscious of my identity. Ethan grabbed a jacket and gave it to me. Good. I'll take care of her first. I choked. Fix her. Why do those 3 words sound so weird? He asked again. Is there anything else you want to ask? No. No. I'm actually still a little weak. What if these two get back together and fire me? I was wandering around alone. Especially when I saw dogs in pairs on the street. The sadness in my heart reached its peak. It was a little dark at this time. And I did not expect that I would meet my cousin's husband here. I snapped my hat down and pretended not to recognize him. Layla. Seeing that I didn't respond, he hurriedly ran in front of me. Su-Chi was sent here by me. Me? So you're the one who's getting in the way of my $1 million a month job. I held back. Oh. I thank you. He looked anxious. What will it take for you to realize that I'm the only one who is genuinely there for you? I couldn't hide the 50-meter large knife in my sleeve anymore. Pretended to walk forward. And accidentally stepped on his foot hard. He crouched on the ground in pain. Sorry. He waved his hand. It's okay. You've always had bad eyes. I don't blame you. It's just that I still want to say that I will always wait for you. Who are you calling a bad eye? A low and uncertain voice came from behind me. Ethan was holding the neighbor's big mastiff. My cousin's husband suddenly became weak. Gee. Mr. G. What are you doing here? Ethan said in a cold voice. What? Hitting on the boss wife in front of the boss? Cousin's husband was still about to say something when Big Mastiff pounced on him with a whimper, scaring him so much that he ran away and dropped his shoe. Ethan came up next to me. Are you okay? I shook my head and blurted out. Don't you spend more time with your ex-wife? The atmosphere was frosty. He gritted his teeth. Who told you? She's my ex-wife? I froze. Then asked, so you're unmarried and pregnant? A breeze blew by and a strand of long hair covered his eyes. His eyes darkened and he pressed my head, lowering his head to kiss me. I suddenly choked a little. He pressed against my forehead. I wasn't going to say it. But I still don't want you to get the wrong idea. Emmy is my big brother's daughter. Few people know that Ethan has a frail brother. Ji Shen. Suchi wanted to marry into a rich family. So she tried every possible means to get pregnant with Ji Shen's child. But the latter only wanted the child and did not want to marry her at all. As soon as Emmy was born, Suchi hid her at her parents' house in the countryside as a bargaining chip to threaten Ji Shen. Every day, she would send her daughter to eat hard steamed buns. But how could a 1- or 2-year-old child possibly eat them? And could only cry helplessly. Ji Shen finally soft heart to marry her. But because of the need to save Ethan and got into a car accident. The home that does not allow bystanders to get close to the room. In fact, put as Ji Shen's relics. After Ji Shen's death, Suchi's dream of becoming a rich man was shattered and she simply threw her baby in the trash, which Ethan carried back to her. But Suchi seems to have found some new way to get rich. Always using Emma as the reason. Repeatedly asking for money from Jis family. So that's how it is. No wonder it's the little girl that obviously everyone spoils. Emmy's good behavior and understanding reveals a hint of caution. After hearing this, I can't help but feel even more sorry for her. Why are you telling me this? Are you a log? Ethan was furious. My heart thumped. Do you mean that? The sky was completely dark. But his eyes reflected the color of the moon. I like you. Rua. Be my real wife. Okay? Then my monthly $1 million still have? I asked, tugging at my fingers. After a few seconds of silence, he smiled helplessly. His voice seductive. Yes. My share also belongs to you. On Friday, the day school ended, I saw a familiar figure standing in front of the kindergarten. I frowned and waited to take care of the other kids, ready to lead Emmy away. Suchi threw away her cigarette, put on heavy makeup, and smiled at me. Hello again. I put Emmy's jacket on. Something's going on. It's weird to smile horribly. Suchi's face froze. Where is Ethan? I can't get into his company. You take me in. Emmy hid behind me and pulled me back. Suchi's eyes narrowed. Ungrateful kid. Have you forgotten who gave birth to you? What? Now that you have a stepdad and a stepmom, you don't want your real mom. Do you really think they really love you? When they have a baby later, they'll throw you away right away. Emmy shivered a little. Emmy body a little shiver. Mommy. I asked the driver to take her to the car first. It just so happens that I bought a new car and parked it at school and haven't driven it yet either. I waved at her. Come on. Let's go and take you to Ethan. I could predict that she was probably looking for Ethan for the money. Speaking of which, Ethan is really unlucky. All the women who come near him are doing it for money. Suchi didn't seem to expect me to agree to her request so smoothly. She closed the car door with a bang. You're still great. You can marry Ethan without even having a baby. She sighed sadly. After all the effort to give birth to a child, it turned out to be a daughter. If a boy. How? What happened? I tapped the steering wheel in confusion. There seems to be something wrong with the car. Seeing me get out of the car alone to check, she also came down. What kind of crap car do you have? Can you help me see if the rear tires are stuck in the nails? She really took a good look. It's a little flat. Seemingly hearing a noise, she looked up and said in surprise. Hey. I haven't gotten in the car yet. What the hell is this place? Are you just going to leave me here? You're really in league with Ethan. And I was already driving away. At night, I told Ethan about my feet. I'm going to make my Emmy suffer for being mean to me. You know, it was kinda scary with all the makeup on her face. He was blow-drying my hair, his long fingers weaving in and out of my thick auburn locks. And he laughed lowly. Good job. I was so excited. This kind of person just can't be indulged. It's endless. Do you think she'll try to block me in front of the school later? No. I'll have to pay for 2 bodyguards. I spoke for half a day. A little thirsty. And realized that Ethan had not made a sound. What's wrong with you? He bent his eyes slightly and stared at me until my face burned a little. I realized that I married a very good wife. I pushed him away. Don't be so carnal. He confined my hands to the side of the bed and lowered his head to kiss me tenderly. Lips soft. Like eating honey, generally sweet. Later. The clothes faded. He asked stoically. Can I? I brushed my eyes away uncomfortably. Still. Can I still say no? Just then. The door to the room slammed. Mommy. Can I sleep with you tonight? Emmy was extra clingy this night. I thought she was frightened. So I patted her and told her fairy tales. She asked. Mommy. Will you have your own kids in the future? I pinched her nose. What are you talking about? Your daddy and mommy's sweetheart. You're the only one. She muttered some more and fell asleep. To no one's surprise. This Sunday. Emmy disappeared. She told the housekeeper that she wanted to find a toy at her neighbor's aunt's house. But she never came back. She left a little note at home. My favorite dad and mom. Emmy always knew that you didn't give birth to her. She said Emmy is a 2-oil pin. As long as I'm around. You won't be happy all the time. Emmy wants you to be happy all the time. And then give birth to a cute little brother. I'm going out to Zwan money. When I come back, I will buy you the most delicious cake. We were all in a hurry. We searched the streets and called the police. When we found Suchi's house, she said indifferently. None of my business. Ungrateful kid didn't look for me. We received a call later and found her in front of a bakery. She was dirty. With big eyes. Eating bread given by the owner's wife. No one knew how she got here. After we found her, Ethan and I didn't speak to her for 3 days so we wouldn't lose our tempers. But in private, he was red-eyed and I cried for 2 hours. I've always thought of her as my own daughter. It was drizzling on Thursday night. Inside the study, Emmy's faint voice cried. Daddy. I won't dare to do it again. Ethan sighed and softened his tone. Little girl. Dad is now married to a daughter-in-law. She likes you very much. If you do not have. Dad also do not have a daughter-in-law. You as a help to Dad, okay? Well. Can I go and sleep with Mommy? Go ahead. Little did anyone know that my affair with Ethan marriage of convenience would come up. It was a waitress who posted online. You know Mr. G from Reese's. His wife is actually specially found to take care of the kids. I was serving them at the restaurant the other day and overheard it. Everything happens these days. People will do anything for money nowadays. Unlike us, who have worked hard all our lives to earn money with a clear conscience. The company's president's wife is also this character. I guess in the family life is not decent. Certainly to serve the president's family. At that time, Ethan was bringing me a basin of foot washing water. I showed him the posting. The east window has been exposed. He rubbed his chin and looked at it carefully. Serving a family? He took another look at the foot washing water he brought to me. And said with some confusion. When will you be able to serve me? When I said this, I blushed and became angry. You still have the face to say that. I have told you to kiss me in front of the children. Why don't you listen? He pinched my face. You're so cute. How can I resist? 10 minutes later. Without realizing it, we rolled on the bed together again. It was as if I had found a way to have fun other than money. In the middle of the night, I was exhausted and he was like a tiger. Head had enough to eat. And had taken to his cell phone to start a passionate war with someone on the internet. If you want to. Can someone else find you? His wife is beautiful and kind. Maybe it's a guy who uses the kid as an excuse to get laid. The light from the cell phone next to me was a little shaky. And I slapped him across the face. Can we sleep now? He came in and hugged me. His soft lips kissed my forehead. Good night. I put something cold on my finger. He softly said. Rua Rua. We make up a wedding. Me. Good.